In this episode, we're going to talk about the fastest way to health, and that's going to look at the six foundation principles, six easy metrics we can utilize to really evaluate where we're at in our health journey. And anytime we're feeling out of balance, feeling out of whack, it's an easy guide to reference back to that we can use this as a standard for analyzing our health, for getting back to homeostasis, getting back to optimizing our being. So, before we dive into that, I really want to invite you to check out my new ebook, which I'm super excited about. Yes, you can grow your own food. It's a free ebook on growing your own food. It's about 13 pages, so very brief, very quick introduction. Give you the 101 lessons on growing your own food, which can obviously be an essential piece of of improving your own health. You can also check out my free ebook, 5 Simple Steps to Lower Your Stress and Improve Your Sleep. And those are both on my website. I'll put those in the show notes here. So back to it. How can we optimize our health in the easiest way possible? So let's go to the six foundation principles. What are the six foundation principles? Moving, thinking, breathing. Those are the yang qualities. Nutrition, hydration, sleep. Those are more of the yin qualities. So within each of these, how I want to frame this is yes, the moving, thinking, breathing are primarily yang, and the nutrition, hydration, sleep are primarily yin. Each of them have a yin and yang aspect to them. And that's our spectrum. So in Chinese medicine, we look at the yin and the yang, the masculine and feminine, the doing and the recovering, the light and the dark. So let's use moving as an example. So you can move too much, you can move too little, and everybody's amount of movement they need, depending on your goals, whether you're going for short-term performance, you're training for a marathon, it's going to look a whole heck of a lot different than if you're training for longevity. So recognizing, hey, first of all, what is your goal with your health? Are you looking to add muscle? Are you looking to go for longevity? Because that's a big piece that I was confused for a while. I'm a lean dude, pretty skinny overall, and I was like, man, why aren't I gaining weight? I'm moving, I'm eating good. And then I came across somebody who said, hey, you're training for longevity. You're not training for bulking up. And that was kind of like a mind blowing experience that is pretty straightforward, pretty simple, but reminding me, yeah, if I'm intermittent fasting all the time, if I'm doing, lower weights, so putting less stress on the body, I'm going for that a different approach than if I was going to gain weight or put on muscle, which would be doing heavier weights, which would be eating more. So depending on what your goal is going to depend on where you are on the spectrum of yin yang and getting to that happy medium there. So using movement, as we said, if you're not feeling great, how's your movement? Are you moving enough? Are you moving too much? Are you sore and aching and inflamed all the time because you're just pushing your body too hard? And on that, I want to add a little caveat. Most of the time, we're not overtraining; we're actually under recovering. So we'll get to that in a moment. But you can think of the yang side of movement, exercise, exerting energy, breaking down the body with strength training. Yin side is something like Tai Chi, like restorative yoga, like slow walking, restoring those energy levels as opposed to exerting. So, depending on where you're at, if you're feeling, really tired, maybe you need to do some working and maybe need to build up that energy. And then as we go to the thinking side, most of us are thinking tens of thousands of thoughts a day, and the vast majority of them are negative. So if we can shift our awareness to becoming aware of those thoughts, because we recognize that every thought we have is actually planting a seed within our consciousness, and those seeds are going to eventually sprout. So if we're thinking, oh, man, I'm an idiot, and they're like, no, I'm smart. But we've planted that seed of, man, I'm an idiot. And yes, we can correct ourselves, but recognizing, the first step is awareness. Then we want to prevent these negative thought patterns from really even taking a root in our brain. So that can look like using tools like meditation, like journaling, like talk therapy is a pretty good one. You're getting these thoughts out, chatting with a friend. And if we can be aware of the fact that our thoughts ultimately create our life and our perception of the reality that we live in, Start by analyzing. First step is awareness. And then we can work on things like affirmations. We can work on things like, visualization and all these other tools to help with our thoughts. But the first step is awareness. So moving, we got moving, thinking, and now breathing. Most of us are huffing and puffing, breathing in through the mouth, out through the mouth, shallowly into the chest. And guess what that's doing? That is stimulating the sympathetic nervous system, which is our fight or flight response. So what is that going to do? That's going to cause cortisol to go up, going to cause adrenaline to go up. That's going to cause inflammation to go up. It's going to cause digestion to go down. It's going to cause sex drive to go down because we are in survival mode. We're in fight or flight mode. So if you can recognize, just look at the world right now. Anxiety, depression, all these things are really high right now. And that's a lot of it is from our thoughts, from the fact that we're told to sit down and shut up all day, sit in a freaking chair, which is not a natural human position. And then we're breathing improperly. So, especially on our devices, if we got this forward head posture, what is that doing? That's getting my mouth open. It's pulling my neck forward. It's putting a lot of strain on my neck. And then inherently, that's getting me, getting my body in that fight or flight mode and breathing through my mouth. And then I'm further enforcing that cycle. So anytime we can take a moment to slow down and breathe in and out through the nose, especially if we close the eyes, we use so much of our energy with our eyes closed. And if we can get into a fetal position or laying down, you think of extension is going to activate that sympathetic nervous system. Flexion is going to be stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system. So if you really need to rest, curl up in a freaking ball and breathe through your nose, close your eyes for a few minutes, and you're going to restore a whole heck of a lot of energy and get those stress levels down. So that's the one-on-one on the moving, thinking, breathing. Of course, we can go into so much depth with the real intention of this podcast is to be brief, to hit all these real quick, give you some practical tools to run away with, get into it. And you can always, go to my page and check out some of my other episodes if you want to go deeper. I know I have a whole nother podcast on breathing in of itself. I'm sure I've talked about a lot of these. I know I've talked about a lot of these in more depth. So, check out some of my other stuff. But the intention here is to make this quick, to the point, practical, tangible, boom. So we got moving, thinking, breathing. Nutrition. The great debate of nutrition. What's the best diet? Guess what? Who the hell knows? And guess what? You know. And the answer to that is it's going to depend on a variety of factors. Again, coming back to your goals. What are your goals? What does your lifestyle look like? Where is your ancestral DNA from? If you live close to the equator, you're more likely to be plant-based because if you think about it, near the equator, there's an abundance of fruits and vegetables year round. They don't really have a winter. They have a wet and a dry season, but there's food all year round. Whereas if you're an Eskimo, you're living way up in the cold and there's not really many plants around. You're really eating a lot of fish, a lot of meat. Guess what? Going vegan as an Eskimo probably isn't the best thing. I don't know. Your body's adapted over tens of thousands of years to eat meat and fish, fatty foods and proteins. So the question of what is the best diet is dependent on so many different factors that, again, most basic level is, first of all, figure out how you feel. Use yourself as your own experiment. Just because someone says vegan is the best or someone says carnivore is the best or keto is the best, why don't you play around with it? And also recognize, hey, that can change on a day-to-day basis. Because guess what? On days you work out versus the days you don't work out, your diet, your general, macro breakdown may change. A lot of different factors. You need to focus on recovery and healing. Yeah, maybe focusing on alkalizing foods, anti-inflammatory foods is going to be better. Maybe you just had a really good workout. Okay, cool. Maybe you want some more proteins. Again, whole bunch of layers we can dive into, but basis is, we want to eat organic foods. We want to grow our own food, preferably, because we know exactly where it's coming from. It's the most fresh. Because yesterday when I was eating some of my microgreens, guess what? I had them here at my desk while I was working on something. I'm chopping them. right as they're going into my mouth. Take the scissors, cut them up, put them in my mouth. That's as fresh as you're going to get it, rather than having them go on a truck and sit there for a week, 2 weeks before it gets to you. So again, grow your own food if you can. I got my ebook, as I mentioned, is going to be in the description box here. It's free. You can download that, the most basic introduction to growing your own food. Get local food. Again, many reasons to that. A few of them being that when you're eating local foods, you're getting a lot of that local bacteria. And I know a lot of us are afraid of bacteria, but we are more bacteria than human cells. So if we're getting healthy bacteria, that's going to be one of the best things for our system as a whole, including our immune system, including our digestive system. So getting some of these local foods, getting some local soil on that food is going to be good for your body. It's also going to be a lot more fresh, because if you go to, let's say, a farmer's market and it's Saturday, they may have harvested on that day, that morning, or the day before, maybe 2 days before at most, because they want to be as fresh and appealing as possible. Whereas you get it from a grocery store, as I mentioned, it's been sitting in plastic for at least a week or two. So local foods are best. Organic foods are best. Growing your own food is optimal. Now, let's go from nutrition to hydration. What are you drinking out of? Are you drinking out of the plastic? Because whatever water's in it is absorbing. So preferably you want to drink out of glass bottles. If you don't have glass bottles, stainless steel is a solid option. It's more convenient in the fact that it's not going to break like a glass can. But plastic is definitely the worst. So, I'd say in terms of ranking, let's go glass, then stainless steel, then plastic. When it comes to water quality, we want to do quality spring water. And again, whole podcast I did with my brother Ed Madden on water. There's actually two parts of that, part 1 and part 2. So you can check those out as well, where we go really in depth into all things water and hydration. But the basis is you get water, you want to have quality spring water. You can go to findaspring.com. That's going to be your hub for finding a spring near you. Pretty self-explanatory. If you don't have that, get a really good filter. The Berkey filter is a great one. Make sure you get the fluoride and chlorine filters added on there. If you can check your water supply of the town you live in to see what they're putting in there. So if they don't put in fluoride or chlorine, most of them do, then you may not need that filter. But if they do, you probably want that filter. So looking at that, another way to add to our hydration level is to add things like quality salt. That can be quality sea salt, Himalayan salt, Celtic salt, things that are going to be of the highest quality, and the source. But I would say be careful of the pink Himalayan salt, depending on the sources. A lot of times they're using explosives to break out that salt, which again is going to lead to some residue of explosives in your salt, which is not probably the best thing for us. So hydration, getting that hydration right in the morning. Your body's been sleeping for hopefully 7 to 9 hours, so you're going to be a little dehydrated. So getting that water circulating as soon as you wake up with a pinch of salt, it's going to do wonders for our mineral balance, our water balance, and try not to drink it too close before bed, because that's going to make you get up in the middle of the night to pee, which is going to interrupt your sleep. So number 6 is sleep. Now, this is the most free and abundant medicine on the market, because anybody can sleep, and anybody can do that really anywhere. Oh, man. Talk about sleep. It's got me yawning, got me tired. So, sleep. What can we do to improve our sleep? Like I said, most people need 7 to 9 hours. Maybe need a little bit less. Good for you. I'm definitely in that 7 to 9 hour mark. I wish I could say get by with less, but I can't. Some people need more. Depending on your age, depending on your goals. Again, if you're LeBron James, I know he sleeps at least 10 hours a night, because he's working real hard. If you're working hard on your body, you got to get a lot of sleep. And naps can be a great option if you don't have the opportunity to get a good night's sleep. Let's say someone wakes you up in the middle of the night, take a freaking nap. 20 minutes, sometimes all you need. Like I said earlier about slowing down and getting into that parasympathetic nervous system, sometimes all you need to do is just close your eyes, set a timer for 20 minutes, and that can make a whole lot of a difference in terms of your overall health and energy. So sleep, I prefer to have no pillow or a very thin pillow, so my neck isn't being cranked. And I've had a lot of neck discomfort over the course of my life. So for me, I can be very sensitive to certain pillows, but I think that most of us could benefit from having a thinner pillow. So just to kind of come full circle here, we don't need to overcomplicate our health. And the fastest way, in my opinion, to optimizing our health is by looking at the six foundation principles and using these as a tool. It's a tool in our arsenal, just like everything I share here is a tool. It's not always applicable in every situation, but if you're feeling off, say you're feeling low energy, you're not feeling great, you can look at your movement spectrum. All right, how's my movement been? Hmm. Well, I've been moving more than usual. I've been getting a lot of exercise, so that could explain why I'm a little tired. All right, how's my sleeping? I haven't really been sleeping on. Oh, that could explain why, I've been a little tired. How's my nutrition been? I've been having some cheat meals, and I haven't really been eating as much as I like to, and so, I'm not getting the calories. Add all these things together. Now we know, all right, so maybe we got to eat a little bit more. We got to eat a little bit healthier. Got to sleep a little bit more. We got to move a little bit more on the yin side to restore some energy, maybe get some of that lactic acid moving. So we can use this as a baseline to get ourselves if we're moving too much or, doing whatever too much or too little, and then coming back to balance. So this is a tool I like to use for myself, a lot of clients. It just helps me have a visual and a very tangible way of taking a good analysis of my health and of your health. So hope this helps. Again, there's a lot of different piece of content that I go into much greater depth on all these topics, but just want to give you a brief overview of a powerful tool to optimize your health. In my opinion, the fastest way to health is by using this tool of analyzing the six foundation principles and reacting accordingly in terms of changing your lifestyle accordingly, whether that's adding more movement, adding more water, maybe, cutting down on food, maybe adding food, whatever it is. You know yourself better than I do. If you're looking for support to go into depth on some of these things, I do a free consultation call, a free 30-minute consultation call if you'd be open to chatting with me and learning more. I do have my Return to Your Roots program, which is designed for men. It's a 12-week program focused on growing ourselves and growing our own food. I also have my Purium Superfoods opportunity. So you're looking for a great way to bolster your nutrition and add another stream of revenue to your lifestyle and be connected with a group of people online. That's basically what I do. My group coaching is in my Purium call. Twice a month I'll lead a call for my team, do some personal development training, do some connections, build that community. So if you're looking for group coaching, joining the Purium business is basically the best way to do that. There's a lot of different opportunities there to learn and grow. One-on-one coaching, if you're a man, I'm the guy for you. Return to Your Roots. We can, again, do a free call to see if it's a good fit for us both. And check out the free ebooks I mentioned before in the podcast description here. And as always, thank you for your support. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in with me. I appreciate you doing the work to improve yourself, because if you're not doing the work for yourself, no one else is doing it for you. So keep growing, keep flowing. Have the best day ever. Talk to you soon.